Hey guys, Jay, welcome back to the channel. So guys, today I'm going to be reviewing G.I. Joe's Cobra Commander from Super 7. This is provided for review by Entertainment Earth, and I'm very, very excited to be taking a look at this because the Sunbow Animation cartoon was really, really close to my heart. So let's crack this open, see what we got. I can't wait, guys. I want to give a huge shout out to all my Patreon and channel member supporters. It's thanks to your support that this channel continues to grow. Thank you so much for your support, guys. It really means a lot and really helps the channel to keep growing. Well, here we go, guys. This is the Super 7 G.I. Joe Ultimates Cobra Commander. I've been looking really forward to this review as the Sunbow cartoon, of course, is one of my absolute favorite cartoons from the 1980s. So without further ado, let's crack this thing open and see what we got. It's got this wonderful blue hue. Actually, it's kind of a silvery blue. It's actually really kind of neat. You can see it's got these weathering patterns, almost like this is an actual duffel box or something like that. You know, that they use in to carry around different materials and armories and their guns. You can see some more weathering here on that pattern there. That signature Cobra emblem right there. That's just beautiful. I love the way it's emblazoned in red. Looking at this closer, it does say Cobra Commander, enemy leader. Sweet. How Cobra Commander actually became the leader of Cobra, I will not know. Obviously, it has something to do with the influence of Cobra Law, as it was retconned much, much later on. Coming to the back, it's pretty simple. We can actually just see it does say G.I. Joe on the back, which is kind of interesting. You'd think it would actually say Cobra again. But of course, G.I. Joe is the brand, so that's very, very important. And then it does actually have his model number, which is, I believe it's GIW1 CBR.01. So Cobra Commander 1. Meaning that there might be more Cobra Commanders in the future. All right, let's lift this up out of its box and see what we see. So, coming up here. Yes. Yes. So much yes. I am in love with this Sunbow style of figures. These are so great. Let's bring Cobra Commander here for a closer look. There he is. Cobra Commander in all of his glory. My goodness, he looks incredible, guys. He comes with a host of different accessories, which we're going to get to in a minute. But yeah, just looking at him in the package, he looks so great. I love the colors. I love the explosion in the background. So reminiscent of the G.I. Joe cartoon. Love it. And then, of course, we do have the G.I. Joe branding right there. This is great. All right, so let's go ahead and take him out of the box. Look at that guy. Wow. He looks absolutely stunning. I love the fact that he does come with that soft goods cape. And very accurate to the cartoon, it is actually more of a fuchsia color for the cape, which is actually the way it looked in the original cartoon, which is just stunning. Taking a look at Cobra Commander here, he does come in a wonderful shade of blue, which is very reminiscent of the cartoon itself. He's got this sort of cyan inner shirt along with his collar. The two little pips here are just colored in black. That's really interesting. He's got these wonderful highlights of silver right on the lapels. And right here we can see the Cobra insignia emblazoned on his blazer. Beautiful stuff. Over here we can see that there's a lot of paint deco here for the, I guess it's kind of like a mid belt. That's kind of interesting because it's actually got a black belt right underneath. I never noticed that before. It's got a pouch on this side here, as well as the black belt as well, with the triangle belt buckle, and another black pouch on this side. A smaller pouch on this side as well. And on the back we have two additional pouches. Probably for ammo or something along those lines. We can see these wonderful elbow-length gloves. They're also very, very shiny. I appreciate that. The figure himself isn't too shiny. He's actually got almost a matte finish. It's not really coming across here on the camera, but trust me, it's not nearly as shiny as the gloves. The gloves are rather shiny compared to Cobra Commander himself. Moving down, we can see that his legs are wonderfully sculpted. He's got these two straps here, which usually should hold his holster for his gun, which is a lot of fun to see. And then down here we have the ankle, almost like they are supposed to come down over the shoe, like under the shoe portion here. But obviously, this being an action figure, it was probably easier just to do it this way, but just fun. Getting into the articulation itself, As I said earlier, his head can actually move on a ball joint, so we can go, left. No, we can wobble quite a bit here. He can actually tilt his head about that much to the right and that much to the left. And his head actually does move this much up, which is hindered by the helmet itself, but he can also move that much down, so he can look really far down compared to the way he looks up, which is kind of fun. His arms do actually have a full ball joint, so they can move about 90 degrees that way. They do rotate a full 360 degrees, and I love the fact that they are quite stiff. I really appreciate that. And if we actually look at the bicep swivel, it goes all the way 360 degrees, which is a lot of fun. And he's got a single elbow joint, which goes about 90 degrees that way. The hands can be replaceable, of course, and they are on a swivel wrist, so they can move all the way 360 degrees, just like that. And there is no additional joint on the forearm itself. He does have an ab crunch. He can move about this far back. So, and then he can move his ab crunch can go about that far forward. His waist is on a ball joint, so he can actually swivel quite around. And of course, do a left and right. And if you really force it, you can probably just go 360 degrees, which I'm not really gonna, well, I guess we could. There we go. Literally breaking his back and coming around. And there we go. His legs can kick this far back and about this far forward. They don't go any much forward past that either. And the knee will actually come about this far up and about 90 degrees down. He does have a swivel on his ankle, so it's got a rotation ankle pivot for here to there. And then, of course, there is a full rotation as well, which is wonderfully achieved that way. So let's have a closer look at some of the accessories that Cobra Commander comes with. The one that really is quite striking is this Cobra accessory, which I believe only showed up in one piece of media outside of the cartoon. And it was pretty much a advertisement for Marvel Comics and the G.I. Joe comic books themselves. This was a lot of fun, as it is just a snake wrapping its coils around the globe, basically indicating that Cobra will one day rule the world. I really love the paint deco on this. You can really see all of the detail in the bottom of the snake with its tan underside, but then you can see that striking green color of the snake as well. He has a flicking tongue right on the inside, and it's really interesting and amazing that they could actually get that much detail into this tiny little snake. We can even see the whites of the eyes and the fangs, which is a lot of fun. Usually they don't go into that much detail with these types of smaller accessories. I love the color of the blue and the overall islands themselves, which is another tan color for the rest of the globe. It really is quite striking and another nod to the wonderful history of G.I. Joe. Cobra Commander does come with his snake staff, which is a wonderful nod to not only the first episode of the series, but also it shows up again in the movie for G.I. Joe. I love the detailing here with the back of the hood. We can see a lot of wonderful detail there. And the color itself is really well done as well. I believe they molded it in some, kind of like a goldish color. We can even see some of the wonderful detailing with the fang work as well as the eye sockets. Beautiful. This is a fun accessory. I do believe it's a mutating ray, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody can correct me in the comment section below. We can see the display there with what appears to be a dog sort of image. Left and right buttons on that side. These tiny, tiny little, I don't know what they are, dials maybe? And if we look to the front, it really does sort of resemble the Mirage from Silverhawks. It's also got wonderful little buttons at the top here, blue, green, yellow, red. And then if we move to the front, to the side, we can really see some of the wonderful detail here. There's even some gray at the top here versus on the side as well, versus the overall color of the plastic. And then we can see some more wonderful detail here. They've colored the black sections very, very well. The trigger as well as the details underneath. Just beautiful. It's like a mini Mirage. Cobra Commander also comes with a communicator. This is a lot of fun. It does, of course, comes with the insignia for Cobra. Again, it's amazing that they can get that much detail in these tiny little sculpts. I mean, this thing is literally maybe an inch, maybe even smaller than that. It's absolutely crazy. It comes with a huge button in the front, a radio antenna, and this wonderful scope right here. Again, love the detail. The other side actually has a slight blue color to it, which is a wonderful little detail. And again, lots of paint apps put on this as well. Beautiful. This seems to be some sort of Geiger counter, or, I can't remember which episode this was from, but basically this dial is supposed to go up and down to increase the intensity. I seem to remember that. We can actually see a little bit of speckling down here on the final color down there. And of course the seismograph or intensity graph goes from a slight blue-ish range at the bottom through the green and up to the yellow. There's even a small nub antenna or a frequency dial. Maybe you can like turn it to the left and right. Again, I can't exactly remember which episode this is from, but it's awesome to see that they have included this in the final product. Beautiful. This pair of binoculars, which is really interesting. This actually comes from the very first or second season, I believe. I believe it was the second television special where they ambushed a convoy in the desert. That was a lot of fun. Cobra Commander was eventually taken captive after he failed to capture the convoy using gliders from the air. It's a lot of fun. I believe that was the first time we ever saw Lady Jaye, and she took out several different gliders. I love the details here. Little black deco, and of course the Cobra insignia right in the front. The strap is actually of a malleable plastic. It's very, very thin. I would be very careful with this one. Don't pinch it at all, and be very careful how often you use this. Cobra Commander comes with a host of different weapons, including a standard Cobra rifle issue. Also comes with the Cobra Infantry Troopers. I believe that they have the same thing. And it really is the standard Cobra issue that was seen multiple times in the show. A lot of fun. It's cast in this very simple blue plastic. We can see a little bit of paint rub there. And then, of course, it has one small paint. Actually, looking at it again. Yeah. It has a small gray paint right here at the top for the barrel of the gun. Wonderful. Cobra Commander comes with two sidearms. One is a signature weapon, which he's pretty much used throughout most of the series. It has this little weird round bulb right before the barrel itself. It's very signature to the way he looks the way it looks in the show. But other than that, I don't really understand the significance of that round, protrusion. It's kind of weird. It's cast in just a singular blue plastic. Very, very cool. His last weapon of choice is a branded Cobra weapon, and it's actually got the Cobra colors, signature to Cobra Commander, blue and red. We can see the Cobra insignia right there, which is gorgeous. Again, love the fact that they can get this much detail into figures now. The handle itself is, it's got a grip, which actually has red features. There's a bit of paint transfer right at the bottom. There's a tiny, the scope itself is also dabbed in red, and the small, targeting nub at the front is also in red, and the tip is actually in a slight gray. Beautiful. So we can actually place in a gun right in here. Just finagle it onto the inside, and then put the finger through the hole, and there you go. His finger pointing hand, which is always a lot of fun. He's always commanding his troops to move forward or commanding them to fall back and retreat. So we'll just remove the gun from here. And it's pretty simple. Just pop out his hand. And we can just replace it with this finger. And it should be noticed that this one it actually has a pivot point. So you can move it up and down. Very, very cool. And we'll just reposition this here. Very simple snap. It's good to go. And Cobra Commander is voicing out orders, just like that. The last accessory I want to highlight is, of course, his cape. Now, this is a wonderful fuchsia color, which is the way it appeared in the show itself. I believe he only wore this a handful of times in the show. I believe it was the first episode as well as the movie. We can see it has two little pips here, which you can use to secure it together. And it's actually lined with a wire. So it is a bendy wire cape, which is a lot of fun, especially for photography. It goes throughout the entire edge of the cape itself, which is wonderful. The way we can position this is just to put it on Cobra Commander's shoulders and then just pinch them over. It's actually not, there's actually no buttons or other way to secure this. It literally is just draping it over his shoulders like this and letting it, for the most part, just sit there. It's pretty cool. And then you can use the wire to position it any way you want. We can drape it over his shoulders a little bit, like this. And there he is, Cobra Commander, barking orders, as usual. Cobra Commander also comes with his swappable head, and the only real difference between this head and the other head is this singular stripe, which, if you watch the cartoon enough, you'll notice that certain animations and certain episodes, he would have a stripe on the top of his helmet, and other animations and episodes he wouldn't have a stripe at all. In several key episodes, so it would be really nice to actually get this to affix to his head. The problem is, this one seems to not want to pop on as easily as this one. It should also be noted that it's not exactly centered. As you can see here, just looking at it from the front, it's kind of off-canter, really. If I have some time, I might end up repainting this myself, because that's unfortunate. It could also be that the helmet is actually positioned slightly off-canter as well. It's ever so slightly off. You can actually see it from there. This actually has more of a curve than this. So yeah, it's just ever so slightly off. It's really it's actually rather strange. Anyway, let's try and replace Cobra Commander's head and see what happens. So we'll just pop this head off like that. Very simple. Then we're going to take this head, and I think the actual hole itself might be a bit shallow. Let's see if we can actually get this to fit. I might have remove the cape just to give myself a little bit more leverage, but yeah, I don't think I want to do too much more with this. It feels like it's going to pop off, and I think, oh wait, actually, nope, it's still very, very loose compared to the other ball joint. And if I put any additional pressure on it, I feel like I'm going to bend this peg or possibly do some damage. I'm already getting a rub here on this side, and we can actually see some additional paint which is starting to come off. So unfortunately, this head is going to be either I'm going to have to do some work to it, because it already looks like it's a little bit off on the actual positioning. And this one, thankfully, looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this one, and it's a simple matter of just putting it on, and there, you can hear the nice little satisfying pop, and it's on perfectly. So there you go. The Sunbow Animation has always been my #1 for the G.I. Joe cartoon, and I really do love the way Cobra Commander looks here. He really does look like he's going to jump right off of the cartoon screen, and I love that. The articulation points, as always, is going to be a point of contention for some fans who feel that, you know what, the style of Super7's overall animation and style of Ultimate's figures are quite dated. And you know what? That's fair. I understand that a lot of people are saying by now they should have more articulation, for the price they actually should, do more with the figure. But at the same time, they just have this wonderful aesthetic that I really, really love. And as my good friend Mike over at Tidarium Hanger is fond of saying, sometimes I just want it to look good on my shelf. And that's exactly what I get here. Guys, let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on Cobra Commander and, of course, the G.I. Joe line? This is pretty cool for me. I really am enjoying this this line so far. Bringing in Duke, you can really see the wonderful aesthetic that these two actually bring to the line. They look exactly like they should two characters from the cartoon, and they look so great together. Seriously, they look literally like they're about to go to war, and honestly, they just look so good, as if they jumped out of the cartoon screen, and I love that. I want to thank Entertainment Earth once again for providing these review samples to me. These have been wonderful to review, and I really appreciate it. Guys, I gotta tell you, Cobra Commander and, of course, the Sunbow cartoon are some of my favorite cartoons from the 1980s. And this one absolutely did not disappoint. This figure looks in-freaking-credible. Is it the best figure on the market? Probably not. But I gotta tell you, the way he looks, the presence that he's gonna have on the shelf for me is gonna be absolutely amazing, and I love it. For the price point, of course, it's gonna be a bit of an ask, but you know what? In terms of the overall design and the way it looks on my shelf, I couldn't be happier. I want to give a huge thanks to Entertainment Earth for providing this review sample for me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I really, really do appreciate these. I'll have links in the description below to pick up Cobra Commander as well as Duke on Entertainment Earth. You can save up to 10% using my affiliate code in the description below, as well as free shipping using the free ship code that I also have linked in the description below. Guys, let me know in the comment section below. Are you interested in picking this up? Because if you are, this is a really good figure. Does it have the best articulation? No. But is it going to look great on your shelf? Abso-freaking-lutely. Guys, I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Yojo, everybody. Cobra. Good journey. Geek proud.